Hello. Decided to go live. I don't know if anybody will show up, but I can see. Actually, let me wait for people to. I don't see any numbers yet. Just talking to nobody. That's fine. I can see on my analytics that most of my subscribers are on YouTube at this time. So I was like, let me just go. I actually just filmed a video, my TikTok Tuesday for this Tuesday. I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and hop on here. How are y'all doing? I probably should have made a post like, hey, I'm going live. Maybe I can still do that. Let me see. I do still need to film my daily savings. Okay, it says that there's a few of you watching, but I don't know if that's right. Where y'all at? Where do you live? Thank you for being here. How's your Sunday? Maybe it's Monday for some of you already. Anyone? Anyone? I'm gonna make a post. Hey, Carrie. Nashville, love the channel and your content. Thank you so much. Nashville's fun. Am I able to share this? Yes. Okay. Copy that. Hey, Eddie. Good afternoon. How are you? Eddie, are you subscribed to me yet? All right. I made a post on my channel. Maybe we'll have some more people pop in. Football and finance. It's a great Sunday. That sounds good. Finance, like your own stuff? Checking in on your stuff, or what do you mean? Like watching content on finance? What does that consist of? And I used to love, I don't watch sports, I don't watch football or anything. And I, oh, me as finance, that's cool. But the sound of is very nostalgic to me because my dad would watch and he would usually be in the garden or whatever doing yard work, but he would leave the TV on and then come in and he'd be all sweaty and just standing there watching whatever was on. And I love that sound. It's so funny. Hello, Evan. This is different. I know. I've only gone live. Let's see how many times. 1, 2, 3 times on my own. Oh my God, that's so bad. 3 times on my own. I went live with Sebastian, my fiance, a few months ago. That was on my birthday, I think, that I did that. Um, hey, Moses. Hey, Leo. Not much. I figured I would just go live because I just filmed a video, my TikTok Tuesday video, and I was like, I'll just do this. I'm good, Moses. How are you? Good, good. we had some rain this morning and now the sky is clear and it's a beautiful day, which I'm happy about. I thought it was just going to be gloomy all day and it's not. So that makes me feel better. What are these like crowns that they're putting up here? Top fans. Interesting. That's new. Are they trying to like gamify YouTube lives? Must be. Sebastian had suggested that I go live while I edit videos on like Twitch or something. I think that's a little boring. I miss you doing the asking people on the street about their finances. I know you hate to do it, and I would too, but those are great. I don't hate to do it. I hate the part of going up to people, like just getting the rejections is super uncomfortable. And even I want to do it. I will probably do it within the next couple of months, but I don't mind talking to people. I don't really mind the interview questions. There's sometimes where people will I'll ask a question and they don't really talk too much. They just answer it. And so that sometimes throws me off because I'm fine with talking to people, but sometimes that throws me off and those are the people who are a little bit harder to interview, but even then I don't mind. It's just when you have to go up to people like, "Hey, can you talk about your finances?" and getting rejected. It's hard. And then just like standing there, a lot of people stare at me because they're like, "What is this girl doing with the camera, with the microphone?" So it's just very uncomfortable. And I get, even just thinking about it, I get really anxious. So it's something I just can't plan it as in like, oh, this next weekend I'm going to do it. It has to be like, okay, today's Saturday, we're going to go do it. So I don't think about it. Yeah, most people don't want to do it or they think I'm selling something, or sometimes people are willing to talk about money but not their personal finances, but I could go around that, instead ask people just like their opinions on finances, or I don't know, turn it into some sort of like game. Yeah, I do it at Ponce City Market, the Atlanta Beltline. We went to the Beltline a few weeks ago just to walk though, and there's always people there, usually getting up to filming and doing something, whether it's for like their own, like filming themselves skateboarding or on the bikes, or there's like interview style stuff. There's always stuff going on, a lot of performance people. So it's a pretty cool place. What's everyone else doing today? And I do have my content planned out for the rest of the year. Tuesday, Friday, Sunday. None of that includes the interviews, but if I were to go film and get some, then I'll probably post those instead. But another person watching football. How's your vacation trips lately? So last trip was Punta Cana for the wedding, our friend's wedding. That was good. And then that was the last one. We're going to London and Belgium end of next month, going into December. So I'm excited about that. A bit nervous about the cold, but isn't it normal to watch football on Sunday? I don't watch it, but I think that's very normal in America. So quick question: how do you deal with close family keeps asking you for money? Um, I'm not asked for money very often. I have been in the past, and without going into detail, there was one point where I had to put a boundary, as in, like, hey, this person was making poor financial choices and then asking me for money. So I said, hey, you can continue to do that, but don't pull me into it. Like I won't give you any more money. I just put boundaries around it. So uh, you don't have to explain anything. So I would just try not to talk to that person anymore, unfortunately. So when somebody asks you for money, you just say, no, I can't. And you don't need to explain anything. preparing to go back to work after a month off. Is that good? Congrats, I hope. Are you excited about that? Or is that like you took a vacation? Did you have job loss or what happened? I never lend people money unless I don't expect to get it back. Yeah, that's typically. Oh no, am I already lagging? I have so many tabs open. Hold on, let me close some of these. I'm going to set myself up for failure from the beginning. I went live a few months ago and it kept crashing. So I keep so many tabs open. That's part of the problem. Okay, that one's fine. Let me close this one. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Quit these. Oop, I almost exited out of this. Let's not do that. Okay. I think I'll be okay. Yeah. If you want to give people money, just assume it's going to be a gift. How do you balance investing with living in the moment / traveling? So as of now, my top priority, obviously I contribute to my 401k, so that's like a set amount each month, and then I max out my Roth IRA. Like that is top priority to me. Outside of that, I am cool with spending on everything else, you know? So top priority is hitting my 401k, the amount that I put in. So I do 6% for me, 6% for my business, 12% total. It's really just $300 per month. And then my Roth IRA, max that out. And then I did build up quite a decent savings for traveling before I quit my job. Uh-oh, I'm lagging. No, oh, I have a lot of tabs here. Let me close these out. Hold on. I'll repeat what I said. I know I just lagged. Get out of that. Gosh, I have so many. Do y'all do this? Do y'all keep a million tabs open? Because I'm like, oh, I'll come back to it. But it doesn't serve me. What's this? Okay, see, I'll come back to that. Not this one. Need that one. That's a duplicate. What's this? Okay, that should be a little bit better. Sorry about that. Um, yeah, so I saved up a decent amount of money before quitting my job for travel specifically. I have used some of that for investing though, because I just didn't have enough to invest like in the past few months or whatever. So I pulled from that. And then honestly, by being in a relationship and that's like my main travel partner, that helps too. Like we split the costs of traveling. So I think just like setting a goal around how much you would want to invest, and then outside of that, you can travel. Travis learned it the hard way, but with a friend, lending money just never works out. Yeah, it never does. Hey, Amy. Hey, Javier. Shanika was on vacation. I take off October for my birthday and a reset from both of my jobs. Oh, that's so great. Good for you. I'm glad you're able to do that. Is that something, a perk by your job, or do you like save up PTO? How does that work? There's so many people here, it's slowing down the website. Unfortunately, there's not so many people here that it's slowing down. It's just probably me. Um, Where's Honey's downstairs? Let me see if I can pull her up on the camera. Sebastian is helping his dad with work today, so I'm just here, and Honey's downstairs. Hold on, let me see if I can pull her up on the camera. I could go downstairs, but she's not in frame. She's on her bed, which is not in frame of the little camera I have. But she's fine. She's just down there chilling. And I've been working so much on her training. You might have seen that in one of my shorts, but even like with her walking, I am working with a friend who's like really good at training dogs, and I've been going to her house to walk her And then we've been taking Honey on our daily walks for the most part. She does have this rash on her underarm, which I think the harness is making it worse, and it's a lot easier to walk her on the harness. So I had to stop walking, like stop bringing her for a couple of weeks, but not a couple weeks, a couple days. And I got some cream to put on her skin, but she's doing so good, like learning a lot. Do you think you're gonna buy gold or silver? I would buy gold. It's just like very expensive for a small thing. It's if I were to finish max out my Roth IRA early and maybe putting some more to my brokerage, then I would probably move on to gold. So really, it just depends on my income. Shanika, you do both a minimum of $5,000 and use PTO as backup. Wow, that's really cool. So I'm assuming with your job, sorry, I'm asking you so many questions, but I'm assuming with your job, you are able to maybe take off a certain amount of days and still keep your job. And then maybe some of it you're not paid for. What books have you read lately? I have novelists in my family. They've written 6 with 2 in the works. That's so cool. Currently, I'm reading Brother. Has anybody read Brother by Anya? I can't remember her last name, but it is one of the most disturbing books I've read. I've read. I'm still reading it. Um, it's not. It's disturbing. It's sad. So I'm reading that, and before this, I read The Wish. Let me pull up my Goodreads. My goal for the year was to read 70 books. I've read 40. I've read 40 so far, so I'm pretty far behind on my goal. If I maybe I can hit 30 more by the end of the year. I don't know. I read Pretty Little Wife, Taming Seven. That's part of the Binding. This series, where is it? This series, my favorite. I love them so much. Oh, I read Red Rising. Have y'all read Red Rising? It's like a. Oh, it's down there. I need to make more room here. Um, that one's really hyped up, and I did not really enjoy it. Gold holds more value in a much smaller amount compared to silver. Yeah, I would buy gold, but it would just be probably later on in life. I did buy a gold necklace recently. Actually, I had a gift card for Etsy though, so I didn't really buy it. But that's just for me to put my. Do y'all remember the eye that I always wore? I want to wear that again. I've been wanting to buy a gold chain, but just putting it off. So I finally got that. It's not a good idea to get into gold right now. Being up right now is an anomaly. I'm sure it'll start going back down again soon. Yeah, I honestly would need to like research it more. Ever read Breaking Free from Broke, George Camel? No, I have not. I see some of his content though. I honestly don't read many finance books. It's very rare. I'm assuming your name's pronounced Hugh. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. No, I don't usually talk about gold on my channel. I don't own any like gold bars or anything like that. Somebody did ask if I'm thinking of investing in gold. I request off a year or two in advance. I communicate with both my jobs, and as long as I do it in advance, it's approved. Oh, that's great. Do some research on commodities market. I feel like that would be good content. I was just filming a video, and it was for TikTok Tuesday this week. It's going to be like net worth, people sharing their net worth, and one of the guys was talking about how he has a bunch of Bitcoin, and that's like what increased his net worth so much. And I was talking about how I do want to research Bitcoin. I'm probably going to turn that into some content. Um, I don't know. I don't own any Bitcoin anymore. Not like not something I would recommend for a lot of people, but I'm not opposed to being back, investing some more into Bitcoin. But I want to learn about it first. And then I'll teach it on YouTube from whatever I learn. That's what I'm thinking anyway. Yeah, Bitcoin, I don't mind it being risky or anything like that. It's more so I don't understand it. And that's why I don't prefer to invest where I don't understand. Any house hunting advice? Honestly, no, I don't, because I've never. Me and my sister got a house together, but that was back in 2013, and the time it was so different then. A lot of the homes were foreclosed. I think the house that we got was foreclosed. Okay. Y'all, I was just chatting away. Did anybody hear me? I was just chatting away. I had no clue it needed to be reset. I'm so sorry. So y'all probably didn't hear anything I said. That's crazy. That's so upset. It didn't tell me that anything was wrong. So what did I miss? I responded to Dylan. You asked about house hunting advice. Did you hear any of that? Kat, you asked about retiring early. Did you hear any of that? That's so upset. I was chatting for like 5 minutes. How annoying. I was saying that oh no, of course not. But we have Xfinity. And I was did y'all hear when I was talking about AT&T being in the neighborhood? Damn. Y'all didn't hear anything. Okay, so I mentioned there was an AT&T truck in the neighborhood just the other day, and we went up to them like, "Are we getting fiber?" And they said no. So we're hoping to get fiber at some point, but we can only get Xfinity here, unfortunately, which they're trash. Well, I mean, they're. I was saying too that I'm on Zoom calls all the time and have no issues. It's just like with YouTube, this being such a big, I don't know. I guess it takes up more data. That's what slows it down. I close out of all the tabs I could. Get out of this. That's so frustrating. I'm sorry, y'all. Um, and I was planning, maybe I can't do that. I wanted to go live. I'm planning this thing in December, a few lives, and now I'm not sure if I can do it. We do not reset our router every other week. No, I don't think that would work. Um, Kat, so did Kat hear what I said about retiring early? You must not have. Dylan, yeah, we had bought a house several years ago. Me and my sister. That was in 2013. That was a $93,000 townhome, which is insane. It was a foreclosure. So my advice now isn't going to be very practical. I did mention I think it's also like the realtor is important. Like your agent can help you with, if it's a good agent, they should be able to help you with getting like how to put in a deal that is going to get more attention. That was like a big thing with us. But I feel like the housing market. My bag. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Um, Kat, let me answer Kat real quick. Dylan, hopefully you got the bulk of that. I'm so sorry. Kat, it's fine to what was I gonna say? With your retiring early, you don't just have to retire early. Like there's different options. Maybe you're familiar with it, but like Baristify, Coastfy, all those different options are worth considering because just doing flat out fire can be really exhausting. And I've heard a lot of people who end up regretting, like they may retire at 32, but they sacrifice so many things that they regret doing that. And the way that I am, I prefer not to sacrifice living now. So, to a certain extent, of course, keep investing heavily, but otherwise, you if you want to still enjoy life now, that may slow down your fire plan, and I would consider looking into the other options. That's why I chose to go down the slow fi path where I am not investing or saving as much as I was, but I am in basically full control of my time at this point, and I just work for doing my own thing. It's all stuff that makes me happy. Thoughts on house hacking on the first home purchase? 3 bedrooms each with their own ensuite bathroom. Most of my waking hours are at work. I mean, if you're comfortable with it, I think that's great. Personally, not what I would want to do. Yeah, sorry, Dylan. Basically, I don't have much advice with house hunting. Just stay patient. Say it real quick. And I said, don't get your hopes up on one place. That's for sure. Proto, I recently hit 100K net worth. Congrats! Went from 20K in debt to 100K in 3.5 years. That's really good. Have you thought about doing a video about rebalancing your portfolio? I was planning on rebalancing in December. No, I probably won't touch my portfolio for some time. So I'm cool with it where it's at. Not until I'm older. What are your thoughts about taking a pension early at 55, which is 55% of value, or waiting until full eligibility? Ooh, that's a pretty big difference. Route 66, could you live off of that? 2500? That's a big difference. Especially as we get into like inflation's just going to go up more and more, you know? So I know that's 10 years apart, but that's huge. That's awesome, Dylan. 103K in his 401k. How did you get into planting? Yeah, planting and all your different hobbies. I'm trying to fill my time with other things besides work and haven't found anything I enjoy. They all feel like too much energy. Do you like reading? I read a lot. So that's one thing that's, I don't, maybe it does take a lot of energy, but I genuinely enjoy it. My dad has always been a big gardener, so I grew up with it. And then, you know, I always knew I wanted like my own little garden. Hopefully in the future, I'll have a more land so I can have a better garden. But that's one thing. And then um, outside of that, I like to just exercise and all. Honestly, I work a lot. Like it's Sunday, I've just been working all day. I worked all yesterday for the most part. Um, I'm kind of just in this hustle era, which is fine. So I don't mind it though. It's all for me, and I like at some point I would like to slow down a little bit, but I do work a lot. And how did I find it? It's just naturally things that I've liked, you know, like reading. Actually, I picked up reading. I used to read a lot in high school, fiction books, and then strictly I would only read nonfiction, like in college in my early 20s. But then the pandemic came around and I was walking so much, I came across a little free library and I took a book out of there. It was actually, I don't think I returned it, did I? I kept it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I did get rid of it. It was Then She Was Gone by Lisa Jewell. And ever since then, I've become just obsessed with reading. How would you say VT World ETF is preferred over? I've seen some people even have VOO plus QQQ, but most of VOO. Am I frozen? No. Am I good? Not frozen, right? Okay, good. VT World ETF is preferred over VTI. I've seen some people. Honestly, I don't like most of the OO wings already tech. So when it comes to like a tech ETF, I like VGT. That's what a portion of my brokerage is in. But I've heard good things about QQQ, but I don't have any exposure to that. This is Vats from UK. Moved to the UK from India and religiously following your channel for budgeting. Thank you so much. Family is still in India, and my plan is to retire early as per goal and move back to India. That's awesome. Good for you. Yeah, going back to the pension, 50% healthcare subsidy at 55. Yeah, that's a really big difference. I can't answer that for you. I think it depends on what you're willing to, you know, what you're willing to put up with. Like, do you still have to work, and are you fine with that? Or if you take this 2,500 now, can you live off of that for the rest of your life type of thing? Are you still going to be working? There's a lot of possibilities. The ads are sitting right beside you, and while they are playing, you are muted. I didn't think I didn't select for ads to play. Can I edit that? Choose how you want them, pre-roll and display ads. I'll shut that off. Mid-roll ads off. Okay. There shouldn't be ads playing now. Sorry about that, y'all. Get money from playing video games. Yeah, I do fetch. I got some points from using playing games through the Fetch app, but I'm not a huge like phone game person. There was a phase. This was like earlier this year, I think. Do y'all know the game Township? I think it's called. I played that daily for like a month, but then I got over it. On my iPad though. Any gym PRs? Huge gym guy. So let's see. I don't go too heavy anymore on squats or like conventional deadlifts. I do like to go heavy on RDLs. I did go up to 155 pounds on Romanian deadlifts the other day, which was a new high for me. And then squatting, I don't go past like 175 pounds. I just don't think it's worth it. Um, I don't want to injure myself. And then I've been training calisthenics. I've been hitting some longer handstands, and I can do more pull ups in a row now. Wide grip, can do 6 in a row, like perfect clean form. So I'm not frozen, right? I'm like stressed out about it freezing. And I'm talking for no reason. Okay, I think y'all can hear me. Hello, Jaren. Hopefully I'm saying that right. Ulana, so great to see you. I posted on your living channel earlier. How come you haven't been posting there? Too much to do. I love that channel. Thank you so much. Yeah, I've just stepped away from it for some time. This is my Living Like Layla lifestyle channel. I used to post a vlog like almost every week. And yeah, it was just taking up a lot of my time. Like, not only was I working on the weekends for my finance stuff, but then I'm like, oh, I have to edit this vlog. And I don't mind editing it, it just takes up quite a bit of time. And it's not something that's very profitable for me at this point. Like, per video that I post on Living Like Layla, I make like $12 maybe. And so for me to film a whole week of vlogging, which is fun for me, but to do all of that and then edit for a couple of hours and to make $12, it's just like, all right, let me focus on the finance stuff and stay with that. I'm probably gonna vlog when we travel to London. Maybe I'll get another vlog up in the next couple of weeks, but for now, I'm just trying to get like ahead with finance stuff because there's just so much to do, and it's never ending. Hello, Cassie. My favorite travel destinations. I made a short on this the other day. That was one of my questions for my daily savings challenge. I would say Australia is number one. And then I really loved French Polynesia, specifically the island of Morea. And I really liked Colombia too. And then for in the States, in the USA, my favorite was probably like Wyoming was really cool. We went there last year around August, and that was really cool. Um, I love Florida, like Destin, Florida. I would love to live there one day, but I've been there so many. Growing up, we always would go to Panama City Beach. That was like every year. There's a channel named The Rachel Show. She's a little kooky in a good way, but I feel you could really help her. She just knocked out her credit card debt and now has 90K in student loan debt. I'll have to check her out. A lot of times people don't want advice from, like I never would give my advice or feedback if not asked for. Unless like I'm like, oh, can I give you advice? That type of thing. But I just don't want to overstep anything. I stay away from deadlifts altogether. I don't want to risk messing up my back. Yeah, I've seen some people where they, what's it called? Where a disc, like, I can't remember the word. I can't think of it right now. Where it like slips or whatever from doing RDLs or from deadlifts. And yeah, that does scare me. Thanks, Dylan. And did you hit any recent PRs? Matthew, you've been building your portfolio, just bought Realty Income Corp and will buy the Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF from next month. Drafted my first budget because of your vids. Awesome. Love to hear that. Proto, when are you uploading a React video? Like my TikTok Tuesdays? Tuesday. Always on Tuesday. That's what I was just filming. My camera's here. Just was filming before I went live. An old friend of mine went viral here just recently. It was yesterday. He hit 1 million views with a minor league baseball GM in the vid. Nice. That's awesome. Evan, why London? Aren't things getting a little tense there? Are they? I don't keep up with the world, to be honest. London because my fiance wanted to go and he booked this. I was like, all right. It was never really on my list, but then he was like, there's Christmas markets, and I love Christmas stuff. So I was looking. We were watching some YouTube videos on the Christmas markets as well as in Belgium, and I'm really excited about all of that. And I watched I watched a YouTuber, Sophie Jane. She's from Australia and she loves London. So I was watching some of her vlogs, and she was there recently, and it makes me excited. And then, yeah, I know she had gone during Christmas time, and it's beautiful. Yeah, ruptures, protrusions. God, I saw a video recently I've seen a few videos of people rupturing their Achilles tendon. So now I think about it a lot when I'm working out or like doing things, jumping, and it stresses me out. Do you know how much you want to have a year when you retire? I don't, honestly, just because, and that's why I never really went down the path of a full on retire. Like I never, not retire, retire early, because I wasn't really sure, because my life has never been set where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like I lived alone before. I knew that wouldn't be the case, or potentially wouldn't be the case in the future. And now I'm with my fiance and we have this house, but we're not going to stay in this house forever. So like, what will our bills look like in the future? I'm assuming we wouldn't have debt. Like that's what we're going to work on. And this wouldn't be the house though in the future, but I don't even know where we want to live. So I feel like so much of my future, it's too much to think about to where I wouldn't know. Honestly, I would say like 70K to 100,000, but it like that's a pretty big range. So it depends on so many factors. Your PR is fighting allergies. Top 3 favorite books. Nice name. Nice name. So they're going to be fiction books. Favorite nonfiction: Think and Grow Rich and 3 Feet from Gold, both Napoleon Hill, like Empire. Um, Binding 13 and Keeping 13 by Chloe Walsh, those together. Uh, the Mind F series, this book up here. Where's my finger going? Wait, this way. The Mind F series. It's like a revenge thriller. Love it. Uh, Probably Good Girl's Guide to Murder as well by Holly Jackson is up there. The Nightingale is really great too by Kristen Hanna, and that's a historical fiction. I don't like historical fiction. That one's really good. Not the safest in the UK right now. I'll look into that. I did see that we might need to, well, we were talking about it, me and my fiance, that we need to like fill out a form before we go. I think that changed recently. Hey, Rye Joseph. Thank you for hopping on. Any plans for more videos asking people about their debt/financial situation? Yeah, so Eddie was mentioning this earlier that he misses those videos, and yes, I will eventually go back out there and do it. It's really anxiety inducing for me. Like I will lose sleep the night before. So I was saying to before that I need to do it spontaneously. Like, all right, it's a Saturday, we're going out to the Beltline and I'm going to do it. I can't plan it because then I'll stress out about it. I don't mind interviewing people. It's just asking people, hey, do you want to be in my video? It's just getting rejected over and over. It's really not that big of a deal at the end of the day. It's just getting out there and getting over that initial uncomfortable feeling. And everybody's staring at you and all of this, you know? Nest egg of 1 to 3 million in 30 years. Yeah, for me, I think that sounds reasonable. Luke, hi Layla. I've been following you for about a year, and your budgeting video with Google Sheets was so helpful. I use that every week/month. Awesome. Thank you. Appreciate that. I'm gonna have another budgeting spreadsheet video coming out in the next couple of months. Let me check the bottom. Y'all let me know if I freeze, all right? New subscriber. How does one, thank you for being here, Sludge Cake. How does one save for house down payment while also maxing Roth IRA? Prioritize one over the other? Yeah, it just depends. You got to increase your income if you want to, if you're like struggling to do both. It depends on your goals. Like, how important is that house down payment? Because it's the situation I'm in. I would love to be able to save for a house. I'd love to be able to put more to a brokerage. But top priority for me is maxing out my Roth IRA just because of like where I'm at this point and my situation. Like, I'm in this house and it's fine. Like, I don't need to move out. I don't need to get a house, anything like that. But I'm hoping that, and what I'm working on is increasing my income so that I can max out my Roth IRA and contribute to my 401k, put money to my brokerage, but also save more for a down payment. So it just depends on your situation. If you want to give me specifics, I can continue. The best way to do this is like when I'm working with clients, for example, I just ask a lot of questions and you end up answering the question yourself. Like, what is it that you want to prioritize? And then I'll ask a bunch of questions. And then based off of your answers, you're like, oh, okay, I should do that. So if you want to put your situation in, I can ask questions. Ever read Simple Path to Wealth? I have not, but I've heard it's great. And it's probably a book I would recommend, but I have not read it. I just don't think it would give me anything new at this point. Like it's something I wish I read a while ago, but I have not. I think a lot of people want to retire simply because they don't have the ability to say no to work. If more people could have the ability to say no, they would be more at peace. Yeah, absolutely. Having options is powerful. You should interview fans or something, emails or polls. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I tried that at one point, like when I had people share, like going, coaching people on videos and such. It was a lot of work for me when it didn't really pan out how I expected it. Luke, I'm about to reach a net worth of 70K at 27. That is so good. That's awesome. I'm glad that I've been able to be a part of that. I appreciate you sharing. We don't need a visa to go to the UK, do we? I had looked this up when we were booking. To go to. You need an ETA. That's what it is that we need to fill out. So it's not exactly a visa. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Clyde, you're also, hello. First of all, I'm in the social media field, and this month has been atrocious for me. How do you deal with a month where you have to backtrack and your net worth goes down? I think more so what's harder is not knowing how much you're going to make month to month. And obviously, I knew that. Okay. I refreshed. I caught that one fast, I think. Clyde, I got you. Okay. Clyde. I was saying that more so, I think what's hard is not knowing what my income, like I can't predict my income month to month unless I have something like in advance planned out. And I'm sure you can relate to that. And then I was saying that my net worth went down earlier this year, but that was mostly because of the stock market. And I'm not too concerned about my net worth. It's more so when I just don't have a guarantee on what my income is going to be, and then I'm like, how do I budget around that? And obviously I have savings, so that's what I can dip into if absolutely necessary. But it always works out. The other thing is like it it always works out, but also there's always ways for things to increase in this field. So as long as you have that cushion to where you feel more comfortable with it, it shouldn't be an issue. That's kind of how I feel with all of that. I don't know if I answered your question, but as far as like dealing with my net worth going down, it's irrelevant at this point. Like I don't know how old you are, but I'm still young. I don't need my 401k or Roth IRA at this point. If my net worth is going down, it's those numbers typically that are going down, and then I still have enough in savings and stuff where I feel okay. Adam, have you thought about interviewing subscribers on their finances? So I've tried that before. If you go back on my channel and look at, it was like summertime 2 years ago, I'm pretty sure. I had people submitting their numbers and such, and I was doing either like just me talking about it, or I had people on my channel. Like I did a Zoom call with them and like coached them on it. I don't know if you mean, you said interviewing. I don't listen to the Money Guy anymore. Not because I don't like them, but just because I just don't. So I don't know if I'm thinking of the right thing, but those videos didn't work out for me, is what I'm getting at. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Yeah, I like that book. I have that too. The Psychology of Money. It's there. You can't see it, but it's behind here. That one is good. Probably one of the best finance books I've read. I like J.L. Collins' voice as well. It's like very deep and raspy. Currently saving 600 per month and investing 500 in S&P per month, also maxing the Roth and contributing to the 401k. Who had asked me? Oh, that was Sludge Cake. Okay, just making sure. Kareem, awesome content, Layla. Thank you, Kareem. You should try and collab with the Money Guy show. They recently asked who we'd like to see them collab with next. Would be such a dope watch. God, they're like so far beyond where I'm at though. I really like them too. I don't know. I could try reaching out, but they'll be like, "Who is this girl?" I do have savings, but I've never had to touch it, and I just started investing in the summer, so that's not very established yet. Okay, Clyde. So your as your net worth increases too, you're gonna see bigger dips, but you're also gonna see stronger growth. So there's some months where I'm at this point investing at least 800 per month, but my net worth is increasing by a couple thousand just because of how much I have invested. Not that I have a crazy amount. Like altogether, at this point, I have 113,000 or so in retirement and investments, and that's the growth that I'm seeing, even though I'm not investing as much. So with time, it'll get to the point where it's like, oh, it's doing all the work for me. But also, when the market goes down, you're going to see a pretty big dip either way. Luke asked, "Do you invest anything in gold or Bitcoin? I'm thinking about starting, but putting everything into index funds might be safer." So I talked about both of these things earlier. Actually, somebody asked if I invest in gold, and then we were talking about Bitcoin. I don't have any like gold bars or anything. I wouldn't be opposed to it, but for me at this point, it's like prioritizing my 300 to my 401k on a monthly basis and maxing out my Roth IRA. So if I can get to the point where I make more money and I'm doing both of those things plus some to my brokerage, then I would be cool with moving on to gold and other things. I also was saying that I don't completely understand Bitcoin. And so I choose not to invest in things that I don't understand. But I used to be invested in Bitcoin and I sold it all a couple of years ago. I honestly wish I didn't. But I want to learn about Bitcoin and I'll probably start investing a little bit into it at some point. But I want to make content around it too. Don't worry, I won't go all crypto and switch over to that. It's just like I learned about Bitcoin. Here's what I learned, and then I'll make a video on it. Index funds are, yeah, safer for sure. Wait, I had a lot of recommendations in their comments. Stop. Let me see. That's so cool. I've been it's always it is really weird to be like not that I'm huge or anything, but there's been people at the gym who like recognize me. I'm like, "What? You sure?" One time somebody was like, "Oh, I love what you're doing on your channel." I was like, "Oh, did somebody tell you that I have a channel?" He's like, "No, you popped up on my YouTube." Like, "What? That's crazy." All right, the Money Guy. Which video did they post that? Where they asked? Do you remember?
I told.
Sorry. Money Guy had Humphrey on, and honestly, he isn't on their same level. But doesn't Humphrey like Humphrey Yang, right? Doesn't he? Okay, so they have 605,000 subscribers. Humphrey Yang. Humphrey Yang, he has 1.8 million subscribers. He isn't on their same level. Do you mean by like knowledge level or working level? Because he's way beyond their subscriber level. Thoughts on CDs? I feel like high yield savings account are just as high interest. Yeah, I don't have any CDs. I think if like you can probably just find a high yield savings account with a higher rate because I was looking at some CDs with Marcus a couple months ago, but then I realized that Wealthfront has a higher interest rate than Marcus's CDs. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go to Wealthfront. I still have Marcus, but that's why I moved my emergency fund to Wealthfront. So I'm getting 4.25% there. The challenge videos with investing do well for people. $5 a day in Bitcoin. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I might do that. But I need to have like a surplus of money. Just like that's risky to me. It scares me. It was on the community tab. Oh, let me see. Posts. Mm. See lots of JL Collins. Aw, I'm gonna give myself a thumbs up. There were 9 other thumbs up. Personal finance with Layla. Aw, that was from Moikus. Thank you. See, what's crazy is some of these people I don't even know, and they probably have hundreds of thousands of followers. Lots of Ramit Sethi requests. Caleb Hammer. They've already worked with Caleb Hammer. Anyone other than Graham Stephan. That's so dramatic. Okay. Would you recommend withdrawing from TFSA, which is equivalent to Roth IRA, I believe, to put down for a house? So I would not personally, but I know that there's the perk with that. I don't know if it's the same number for the TFSA, but I know with the Roth, you can withdraw up to like $10,000 for a house with certain rules in there. So if it just varies by situation. It's not what I would do. Like I would try my very best to avoid that. I would rather the money be invested and work on saving the 10,000 instead and beyond that. But I wouldn't be opposed to it. Like if it's something that it's like this is a really good time, this I need to type of thing, or this is the house that I want, so on and so forth. It just depends on your situation. But I would try my very best not to do that. Isn't stock mutual funds investing in the whole stock market? The total stock market, yes, specifically, but not all of them. Like there's different options for you to invest in. You meant Humphrey doesn't have the same financial knowledge. Yeah, okay. But I think really what they're looking for is not only that, like people with financial knowledge, but also with a following so that they can grow. And they're gonna be like, ah, she has 50K, like we're not gonna want her. Hello, Enigma. Hey, Austin. Austin's here. My favorite part about being a YouTuber is, I mean, this was my dream for so long. So I think just that I'm living that, but also my time freedom and honestly, this little community that I've built. I think it's just so cool. Like y'all are here on a Sunday with me chilling. That's crazy. Like imagine there were 40, 45 of us sitting in a room right now, just chatting. That's so cool. Oh, Carly's here too. Hey, Carly. I missed your birthday. Happy belated birthday. I'm so sorry. I thought of you that day and then I forgot to text you. Austin Williams is a YouTuber as well as Carly. She runs Best Money Class Ever. And we met at FinCon last year and became good friends this year at FinCon. Of course, you're seen at the gym. Don't you do crazy calisthenics? So I do my calisthenics in the, it's like a racket. I don't know if it's racquetball or what they do. It's like a glass wall in that room. So most people can't even see me aside like pull ups and stuff, sure. As well as like the human flag is like kind of in the center. But um yes, it does get attention sometimes, which is why I try to do it when there's not as many people. Luke, you got into Marcus thanks to you too. That's awesome. Can't believe it took me so long to put my money into a high yield savings account. Yeah, so many people still don't have their money in a high yield savings account, which is crazy. So, do you think Bitcoin will be 500K or 1 million? Or it's too riskier? I have no clue about Bitcoin. Let me see what it's at right now. I do still have Coinbase. I did say at one point, like, oh, if it goes back to 20K like it did some time ago, I'll put a whole 20K in. But it's at 108,000. I'm sure it will get to 500,000. I did not think it would get to this point, so it's crazy. I pulled money from my Roth to help with house down payment. You can withdraw all contributions plus 10K first time home buyer of gains. I would not do it again. It was before I learned right. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I personally wouldn't do it. I prefer for my retirement to stay for retirement. Hmm. Best countries to retire in? I have no clue. Anybody have any thoughts on that? Portugal, I think. I've seen quite a few people in the fire community go to that, go to Portugal, Costa Rica maybe. But these places, I don't think it's as easy as it looks, you know. And plus, if there's like if you're going to go to Costa Rica, for example, I think it's important to know the language. If you watch those CNBC videos, they do a lot of I live here now, those videos, and I think it's interesting to see where people are living that came from America or other countries. No, this is a Samsung Galaxy Watch. It's like 6 years. It's pretty old. My target retirement age. I have no clue, to be honest. I don't think I'll ever like stop working. But I also know that I don't know what to expect of anything at this point. I think the world is kind of in a strange place. And I don't know how long YouTube will be around or anything that I'm doing will be around. And that's kind of why I've diversified a lot. Like I make money from YouTube, yes, but also from coaching and selling things. And I created a community recently because, yeah, I've seen some people get demonetized for one thing or another. And I just don't really know what to expect. Like, will YouTube be around in 10 years? I think so, but will I be relevant in 10 years? I don't know. So I don't know that I have a specific retirement age. Like, I can put out there 65, but I think I would still be doing something that I enjoy. Maybe it's not finances at that point, it could be something else. I'm a pretty creative person, so I would imagine I would come up with something else. Do you have an age or dollar amount in mind to retire at, or are you enjoying this enough to keep going regardless how much you have? Yeah, so I know I kind of just answered that, but I see myself doing one-on-one coaching for like another solid 10 years at least. And so I would like to continue that. And I don't know. Like, I'm cool doing this. This is pretty good life, I will say. I would love to increase my income, but even despite that, like, this is good. This is nice. So that's what I was saying though. Like, as long as I'm able to do this, as long as y'all watch my videos and I'm making money from this, I will probably continue. Um, but it's not a guarantee. Not it's out of my control, is what I'm saying. As a local, I've got to hype up South Africa. Just don't drive at night. Interesting. I'm from Spain and we get so many wealthy people retiring there. Interesting. Wealthy people. That's the important part. Kareem, how do I feel about individual stocks? That's how I first started. I was like, oh, you buy, I don't even remember what I bought, but I don't own any individual stocks at this point. I don't think it's a, I know some people like to invest into individual stocks for companies that they really like and support, and that's fair, but it's just not something that I would choose to do at this point. So that's how I feel about it. I have enough of everything with the total stock market. Karis, 50K following is still amazing. Thank you. You've grown so much the last few years. Don't underestimate yourself. You inspire a lot of us watching and following. Thank you so much. No, I really appreciate that. And I do have to think of it like that and remind myself of that often. Somebody had made, I think it was Ryan, he had commented, I don't know his last name, but he was saying like how small of a percentage of YouTubers get to just 50K. And I had looked it up, and I think it's like 1.5% of YouTubers get to 50K, and that's pretty crazy. So I really appreciate that. I appreciate all of you. Day by day, absolutely, Dylan. How am I still live? Okay. How many kids would you like? 0. Do not want children. Have your family or friends sought out any financial advice from you? Absolutely. My mom, she uses my spreadsheets, and every month we roughly touch on her numbers. And she asks me a lot about her situation. She's not in a great financial situation. My dad, I invest for him. So he's, if for those who don't know, my dad fell recently off a ladder. He's okay. This was late July, but every Friday I was going to his house and helping because my stepmom, she had to go to work on Fridays. Um, but I was going there each Friday, and almost every time he's like, "Oh, can we invest in my Roth IRA?" Or he wanted to like roll over some funds, and yeah, all these different things. So I help him with investing. We mostly do like a 60-40 split, so 60 like S&P 500, and then 40% in bonds. Just depends, but yeah, I help with that. I've helped my sister with some things. Like she recently started a job, so she sent me screenshots of what they offer for like retirement and those things. Yeah, so I love when people ask me for financial advice. It's my favorite topic. Atlanta, Dallas, Austin, and Salt Lake City, as well as some Australian cities, were named most affordable in the world. I don't think so. Definitely not Australia. Definitely not. I mean, Atlanta's all right, but not the city. Do you feel that YouTube is going in the right direction when it comes to monetization for? My back? Okay. I caught it early and then I refreshed and then it froze again. So, what was I answering? Something about YouTube. Do you feel that YouTube is going in the right direction when it comes to monetization? I was saying yes, that I think they're doing a lot of good things. I get emails all the time. I think they could probably give us some more money as far as ad revenue. Like we all are probably making them so much money and we only get a small percentage of it. The other thing I think that they need to improve on is support for the content creators, because I watch this guy, Jack Morgan. Do any of y'all watch Jack Morgan? I really like him. He's really weird. I watch him almost every single morning, but actually not really, because lately his channel got demonetized. He used to post daily, and now he's not posting because his channel got demonetized because he tried to change like his business bank or something like that. And so they demonetized him for he doesn't know how long, and that's crazy to me. There's nobody that he can reach out to for support, and he was probably making, I don't know, 10K per month from YouTube. So that was his main source of income, and I just think that's not right. Like there should be somebody that we can reach out to if something like that happens. Who are your financial role models, either on YouTube or not? uh that's a good question. I don't know that I have a financial role model. Like, never really thought of it. Like, I guess like Choose FI, Brad Barrett, and I can't even remember his name. He came off the show. But the Choose FI is what shaped so much of my decisions around finances. So Brad Barrett and Jonathan, that's his name, Jonathan. But I wouldn't call them like role models. It was just who I learned from. Hey, India. How do you feel weight goals? I feel like I drive myself nuts with the number I see on the scale. I barely weigh myself. I'm 4'10". So for me to lose weight, I practically have to starve myself. And it sucks. So I don't stress about it too much. I'm at the point where I like how I look, so I'm mostly maintaining and I'm cool with that. And honestly, the I feel like the less I think about food and the scale and weight, the better it is. But you may want to be like gaining weight, Dylan, but same thing. Cooper, from a business perspective, what do you see as the biggest opportunity for scaling or diversifying what you're doing right now? Good question. Um, Biggest opportunity for scaling. I think people make it seem like money is really easy to make, and it's not. Because if it was easy, I would be a lot further. A lot of other people would be doing this. Honestly, I don't know. I sales. I think I don't know that it's an opportunity. I think it's a skill. Being more salesy is how you scale. And I'm not somebody who's great at selling. I don't promote myself that much. Those things that you've got to be better at that to be more successful is what I've realized. I think I'm pretty diversified, but I know that if I were to sell better or maybe work on like different copy a little bit better, maybe I could scale. But truly, I do think having a larger audience helps because let's say I have, right now with 50,000 subscribers, if I were to go live, for example, and I like this is just a spontaneous live. So there's 41 people here right now that I see. And if I were to try to sell y'all something right now and only 10% of you bought, which that would be pretty high, that's a small amount, versus if there were 1,000 people on here right now and I tried to sell something to y'all and I sold 10% or even 5%, that is way more. So I think just being able to grow your viewership is helpful. For those with traditional pensions, would you include this in your retirement calculations? Right now, I just go by my Roth and 403b while playing around with my retirement calculators. I would if you know the amount, yeah. Because oftentimes, no, it's not included. The like Social Security isn't included in your FI number, but with that, yes, because that's like you're gonna get that and you know what it is. But if you want to be like above and beyond, don't count it, and you'll be way set. I'm basically my parents' financial advisor. I spent a year deep diving into all things personal finances slash education, and we fired their advisor. Yeah, good call. Whose net worth is higher, you or your husband's? I can't wait for my wife to pass me. Not married yet. He's my fiance. His is higher. He's younger than me, and his is higher. He's 3 years younger, and he is over 200K. But I'm not going to go into detail because it's not. This isn't his channel, and my net worth is 130 something. Do I think retirement will be a luxury in the future since the 9 to 5 is dying? The overall finance is getting harder each day. I think it already is a luxury, to be honest. So, yes, I think it's going to be, but we have a lot more opportunity now in the sense of like a lot more learning opportunity, and hopefully people are making better decisions. But I think just with the economy and the way things are going, it's, I don't really know what to expect. It's upsetting. I don't see it getting better, unfortunately. RLP, love his channel. Yeah. Isn't Jack hilarious? I think he's just so weird, and he's grown on me so much. I want to cut back 5 pounds, but then pizza looks at me at the food store. Same. Almost every weekend, Sebastian and I were like, all right, no more. Because we'll usually have some. Like the other day, we made vegan Alfredo pasta. which isn't the worst thing, but it's not like the healthiest thing, you know? And we're like, all right, no more next weekend. And then we end up buying like some sweet treat or whatever. So I think, balance. They live with FICA possibly going up to 7.5% for both the employer and employee. You pay both parts. What do you think of that? Oh, I did see that recently. I don't know what I think of it. I just go with the flow of things. The other thing, it's like it all come tax time, it all works itself out. Like it's fine. I don't stress about it. As long as I'm doing what I need to, you know. Watching from Geneva, Switzerland. So cool. Thank you, Sue. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, my foster, she's crying downstairs. Hold on. She might have to pee. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I'll probably have to hop off soon so I can take her out. But how often do you reach out to others or others reaching out to you for potential collaborations? I think that'll help scaling your channel just as long as it fits. So recently I filmed a video with Denzel Rodriguez. Do any of y'all know him? He does a lot of velocity banking stuff. He reached out to me and he like did a little interview with me. So that's going to be going up soon, I think. And then who did I? Oh, this guy, Mark Lesko. It's like this quirky older guy with like glasses and wears like bright clothing. He reached out, like his team reached out, but I just don't see it as a good fit. So I don't know. I don't reach out to others though. I don't reach out for collaboration, to be honest. Oh, the other guy I worked with, he invited me to do like teach in his community, his credit building community. That would be Calvin, and he's from 850 Credit Club. So I went live with him one time, and then I did a like teaching session series in his community. Don't go Caleb Hammer on us. I don't know what that means. I probably won't though. Depends on how the economy is set up, benefit rich people or the average citizen. With all the automation we have today, we should have had a 20-hour work week instead we have billionaires. True. I watched yesterday, excuse me, I watched a documentary yesterday called Born Poor. It was on PBS, Frontline PBS. It is so good, very sad, very it's heartbreaking to see that and it's frustrating, honestly. Like you want to shake these people like please just don't follow down the same path as your parents. But they posted it recently and it was first filmed, it was these young kids, three children back in 2011 or 2012. And then they filmed again when it was, I want to say 2017. And then more recently, they gave an update in 2025. I highly recommend. It's like over an hour long. But it's just so sad to see because they were like born into poverty and struggled so much, and that carried with them into adulthood. And these children, they're like 16 years old, and then they end up having children themselves, and they have like 6 kids by 2025, like literally. So not 6 kids, it was like 3 kids by 25, and one girl had 2 kids by 2022. And then the cycle just continues, and it was just, yeah. So that was, somebody said, I agree, retirement is a luxury for many. So it's just seeing those things like, wow. Is Sebastian vegan? No, not at all. He eats meat, dairy, all the things. I have a TRS account, aka pension, that is mandatory that I contribute to. I contribute 300 and 200 a month to HSA. I can't max out my Roth, but thought about contributing. What would you like my opinion on exactly? Is she coming up the stairs? Hold on, y'all. I'm going to just take y'all with me. She's up the stairs, and she's not supposed to come up the stairs. I hear her sneaking up here. She might have to go pee. Y'all are coming with me. Hopefully, we don't disconnect. Want to see, honey? Miss Ma'am. What are you doing? Look at her. Look at her. Oi. Okay. Sorry, that was my fault. When I showed her, my laptop closed. Where you at, girl? There she is. Come on. Okay. All right. Let's see. Where was I? Oh, you're asking. So MRSBS, Mrs. BS, Mrs. BS. Is that right? Should I contribute more to my HSA or contribute to my Roth IRA? Y'all, this is also specific. It depends on your situation. More to my HSA or contribute to my Roth IRA? And let me read your first question. I have a TRS account. I contribute $300 and $200 a month to my HSA. I can't max out my Roth, but I thought about contributing. Okay, so HSA is going to lower your tax burden now. So that's one thing to consider. HSA you can also use in the future. So you can have that as part of your retirement plan, which is good. I think HSAs are awesome. So I'm leaning toward that, but I don't know your full situation. So I would also consider your income right now, your income, potential income in the future. And then is there a way for you to do both, a little bit of both? If you can do some to your Roth IRA, you have an after-tax HSA. Okay. How would you respond to someone who's, no, that's not the same person. Okay, I have an after-tax HSA. Yeah, so then either way, you're probably good to, it depends. Like, do you need more in your HSA for now? Do you have a lot of medical bills, or is that part of your retirement plan? And then if so, I would say my vote then instead, since it's after tax, would probably be Roth IRA. But it depends on your situation, like all the questions. Do you think 2.5 mil is correct for an individual and 5 mil for a couple by retirement age? That's great, but depends. Where do you live? That's a lot of money, a lot more than most people will have by retirement. You still get recommended my CNBC article from time to time. Has that been good exposure for your channel? At first, somewhat, but honestly, it was just kind of stressful because they messed up my numbers so bad. But otherwise, no. Jesus, you must know all the people I know. Denzel, you know him too? Cool. Coral. Thoughts on saving 75% of your money, then 25 spend it on whatever. Life's short, need to enjoy a small part of it. I think that approach is good. This is probably a short or some sort of video I'll make in the future, but I think the only people who don't need to worry about budgeting are those who have no debt and they use like their credit cards responsibly. Like they're either not using them at all or they're paying them off on a monthly basis. And so you set a savings goal and an investment goal, and as long as you're hitting that, you don't really need to worry about budgeting and tracking anything else. So I'd say that's 75% saving is huge. That's pretty decent. Do I have any passion projects I'm currently pursuing? I do not really. Like all of my focus is on this finance stuff. So I guess it's kind of not a passion project, but it's a whole part of my passion. So would you consider yourself an optimist or a pessimist? I'm somewhere in between. Honestly, I'm not an optimist 100%, that's for sure. I have a really hard time with a lot of things. I compare myself to people. I have a lot of self-doubt. It's kind of been exaggerated ever since I became self-employed, to be honest. And then there was, when I got really sick back in 2021, I was such a pessimist. Like it was not good. I don't know how people go through like cancers and stuff and stay positive. I truly don't. I did not stay positive while I was sick. I was miserable. Every day was a test. I think the economy is set up for people who work hard. Wait, I think the economy is set up for people who work hard to get rewarded. The problem is work hard means like 90 plus hours a week and you go nuts, but you have money. Yes, I agree. And I've learned that in order to get wealthy, you've got to be obsessed with getting wealthy. That's what I'm seeing. I am so tired of hearing like work smarter, not harder, or that you don't have to that you don't have to work hard to get rich. Like that's BS in my opinion. There's no way. All the people that I've seen that have made a lot of money worked a lot. That's why I'm in my hustle era right now. I'm like, all right, I'm just going to work as much as I possibly can. Not as much as I possibly can, because I could do more. There's still a lot of balance in my life, but the whole idea, because for some time I was like, oh, I just want like slow-fi, like I just want to live a slower life and not have to worry about working. But I'm like, this isn't serving me. I can put in so much more effort right now, and I'm going to make this work. So I feel like I do need to hustle. Everybody needs to hustle in order to get successful, like really successful monetarily. I mean, Matthew Lesko, that's it. Jesus, how have you seen everything? You know all these people. That's so funny. How would you respond to someone who says they have not even an extra dollar at the end of the month? Because I'm of the belief there's always something that can be done. Make money then. Find a way to make money. It's not easy to make a lot of money, but there's a way to make some money. You can sell stuff around your home, gig work, Uber Eats, driving Uber in general, Instacart, pet sitting. There's something or some sort of skill that you can offer. There's surveys. If you really, really were desperate, there's the survey websites that will give you something for, yes, you're going to have to spend a lot of time on there, but you'll get a little bit out of it. So there is definitely something that can be done. It won't be life changing necessarily, but if you're really, really desperate, there's an option. Yeah, meaning when they use it as an excuse to never save or invest. Not only that, but unfortunately, kind of like going back to what I was talking about with the documentary that I watched, where people, I don't know how to say this without, like, people don't necessarily think things through. And unfortunately, when you're in a headspace where you think the system is against you or because you were raised in a certain way, then you're stuck in that situation and people can't see beyond that or are unwilling to do what it takes to go beyond that. Or sometimes it's just a situation, it's not always in people's control, but a lot of times it does come down to choices and that sort of thing. So it's hard. Also, those are the same people who a lot of times, because I've worked with a lot of people, and this is even like close family friends, like they're the ones who I see them posting on social media, like buying crap, you know, clothes, like buying things they don't need. I invest about 800 per month at this point. How much is a 101 hour meeting to discuss personal finances? So I have a couple of options. I have a money deep dive. That's 2 hours, one time call, $347. I have a financial reset. That is 2 calls, an hour and a half each. That is $347. This is on my website, by the way, Debt Over It. I also have my community, which is $17 per month or $170 for the year. And I go live at least three times a week in that community at this point. So honestly, there's like 30 something people in there, and not too many people come to the calls yet. So you probably could get a one-on-one. And then I have 12 weeks of coaching. That's usually about 1,500 for 12 weeks. Mrs. BS, you want to beef up your HSA because my husband has lots of health issues. Okay, yeah, then bump up your HSA. I think that's fair. I feel like I should do HSA. Yeah, definitely. See, for your situation, because he has health issues, I'm so sorry to hear that. He had the heart attack. I hope he's doing okay. Yeah, I would bump up the HSA, or even like outside of that, your emergency fund, that type of thing, because everybody's situation is different. Clyde, oh yeah, I don't think I ever commented or anything, but thank you as someone with Crohn's who hardly mentions it. Thank you for being visible and speaking about it. Yeah, absolutely. I was very embarrassed initially with everything I experienced with Crohn's disease. So much so that I avoided going to the doctor because I was embarrassed and like uncomfortable with it. But now I'm over it. Like, I will talk about anything. I think you have to once you go through Crohn's and all the things that we go through. It's like, what is privacy? What is anything? You know. So I wish that it wasn't. I just wish there was more known about Crohn's disease. Like, what the hell causes it? Why do I? Nobody in my family has Crohn's. Why do I have it? It's just scary to think about too. Like, we have to have this for the rest of our life, and not much is known about it. Maybe my medication will work for the next 5-10 years. Maybe it won't. We'll see. That's what's scary about it. Kevin. Hey, Layla. Hello, Kevin. I really like the net worth update videos. Thanks for being so open with finances and being willing to give advice. Of course. My name's Brenda, and my last name starts with an S. Okay. Mrs. Brenda S. Got it. We hope you're healthy now. You seem like such a capable person. Hard to believe someone like you has self-doubt, but you never know what people are going through inside. Yeah, thank you, Luke. I appreciate that. I am much healthier now. I'm in remission. And as far as self-doubt, I have so much of it. It's like a weekly struggle. It's a lot of comparison. Like, comparison is the thief of joy, as they say. And it's hard to see. I'm happy for people having success, of course. Like, I think there's enough to go around for everybody, especially in like the online space. But it's hard to see other people creating similar content, or just starting at the same time as me, or even after me, and going way beyond, like, success wise metrics, really, you know, like seeing what they make, seeing their subscriber count, all these different things. And that's where it's like, dang, what's wrong with me, you know? Advice on how to start squatting at the gym. The bar always hurts my back. I need a better booty. So I think ideally start with the bar, like just the bar. If it's hurting your back, do you mean like your skin of your back or your spine? Because if that's the case, I would try front squats. You don't necessarily have to do front squats or goblet squats with your heels elevated. If it's hurting your spine, I'd be careful. But if it's hurting just the skin, I say push through that, you know? And I don't like to use a pad or anything when I'm using the squat bar. I just put it on. It doesn't bother me. So you get used to it. Luke is pet sitting right now. Awesome. Making some extra cash while watching this. That's great. Kevin, yes, I do plan on doing more public interviews. I was talking about this before a couple of times, but it just makes me really anxious to go. And I haven't, I just get nervous. But I would like to do it at some point again. Hey, Jeff. Thank you for being here. Hey, Dina. 347 for 2.5 phone calls is very generous on your part. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you. I mean, everybody's perspective is different. You know, I've been told that my what I charge is too expensive. I feel comfortable with what I charge, and I know that I can make a big difference for a lot of people. I've seen it, and yeah, I'm pretty comfortable with where my price point is at. So I'm glad you said that. My thoughts on velocity banking. So actually, so Denzel Rodriguez, who talks all about velocity banking, when I was in debt, the first time, my first interaction with him was he emailed me and he made this whole like custom video for me, like, hey, this is just a suggestion. This is what I think you should do. And it was all about velocity banking. And it went right over my head. I was like, this is so complicated. I am not interested at all. I responded to him and said that, like, this is seems too complex. I don't understand it. And as I keep saying, I don't do things I don't understand. I've watched several videos of his and this other woman who talks about velocity banking, and I do understand it to a certain to a certain extent now, but I'm not confident of like, yeah, this is what you do. You know what I'm saying? And so I like it's not my approach, not what I would do, but based off of what they teach, like yes, it absolutely works. You know? Hold on, I think Honey's trying to. I don't know if she's sitting outside. It's very windy here. Welcome. What you doing? You want to say hello? Come here. She's camera shy. Honey! Oh my goodness. Where are you? Okay. She's going crazy. So that's my thoughts on velocity banking. I don't know enough about it to be like super confident. Oh my gosh, Clyde, your sister has it too? That's crazy. Nobody in my family has it. My diagnosis was quick as well, luckily. And this was because I went to a holistic doctor, like a functional doctor, and she was like, I think you have Crohn's. And if I didn't go to her, I don't think I would have gotten diagnosed, because my doctor who I was going to, my colorectal surgeon, he was like, I don't think you have Crohn's. And I was like, I want a colonoscopy. Like, please, can you just do it? And because my holistic doctor was saying it. And I did have Crohn's. So yeah, you got to speak up for yourself in a lot of these things. I have wider shoulders, so the bar hurts my shoulders. Interesting. I have wide shoulders too. So you put the bar lower. Do a low bar squat, like on your traps. Smoking can prevent UC. Like smoking weed or what? Not cigarettes, yeah? Sorry if you hear Honey drinking the water. No, that's pretty annoying. You should keep Honey. Y'all are too good together. So I love Honey. I really, really do. And it's gonna be hard if she gets a forever family. Sebastian's not on board with keeping her, so it's not just my decision. But also I'm kind of not either, like more so financial wise. And then when we travel and stuff or like leave the house, I don't know. I do love her though. She's so easy that it's not a big deal for now. Eugenia, you saw Honey. Yay. Also, hello, happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Thank you for being here. We're the only two. You probably got diagnosed quick because it was a female doctor. My sister was getting it blamed on her reproductive system by male doctors for a year. Ah, interesting. Yeah, no, I had a lot of symptoms that were like strange, and they were thinking it was just because of like from food poisoning or that type of thing. But no, it was all Crohn. It all makes sense looking back on it now. Like if you go back to my videos in 2021, I was really skinny. I got down to 100 pounds, which I haven't been that since high school. But anything I was eating just going right through me. I was either vomiting or it was going out the other end. Sorry to be TMI. I had like this weird rash on my mouth. I thought it was my toothpaste or something. I thought it was like a lip balm that I was using, but I had this irritation on my mouth. You can see it in the videos back in 2021. That was all Crohn's. I would have stomach pain. That was all Crohn. Like it was on the bottom right hand side. and they would push on that and I would feel pain, or I would just be sitting there and it was like I had to stop for a second because it hurt so bad, I had so many ulcers in my whatever small intestine. I can't even remember. I take Honey, but I don't want to fly her to me. It's not Amazon Prime. Where do you live, Dylan? Honey needs to go to a special home, that's for sure. Like we're very picky of who she will go to. I would love to see her to go. I would love to see her go to a family, somebody with children, because she loves kids, and she likes to follow everybody around. So for her to be able to follow people around and just like be curious like a dog is ideal. And then somebody who would keep up with her training because she's learned a lot. She's very good though. Like she doesn't go upstairs. I know just now she was coming up the stairs, but she won't go upstairs typically. She was just getting, she probably had to pee. I don't know. She won't jump on the furniture. She doesn't get on our couch. And she surprisingly is very well behaved considering where she came from. So, and that's okay. She doesn't need to. We don't have kids either. She doesn't need to go somewhere with kids, but I have a hard time believing that smoking can prevent ulcerative colitis. Are we talking doctors not listening to us as patients and refusing to diagnose the obvious? It's quite frustrating. I've been, what's the word? Why can't I think of it? Oh, I've been gaslit by so many doctors. This all started, I think, because I had Lyme. I had a tick bite, there was a rash, and I don't know that 100% it was a tick, but I had the rash. I had swollen lymph nodes. I had a fever. This was during COVID, though. This was 2020. So when I went to the doctor, they're like, "Oh, we think you have COVID," and they first of all had me come in right away because I had the rash, and I was like, "I think I have Lyme or whatever." The doctor was like, "There's no Lyme in Georgia. Like, are you kidding me? There's Lyme everywhere, you know?" And so he tested me, and I was negative, but they did put me on antibiotics for like 7 days or whatever. But what they should have done is had me go back a few months later. Um, and I honestly think that's where my Crohn's could have come from, was having the Lyme, because in 2021, that same holistic doctor who like was like, "I think you have Crohn's," she was like, "Have you ever had Lyme?" And I was like, "You know what?" Because I never brought it up because I didn't have it. She was like, "Let's test you for that." And sure enough, I had markers of Lyme disease in my blood, and so I had to get treated I had to get antibiotics through IV for like 4 weeks before I could even get treatment for my Crohn's. So, yeah. There was also, I'm pretty sure I got dengue when I when I went to Costa Rica, and I had this awful rash. Has anybody had dengue? Is that what it's called from the mosquitoes? I'm like 90% positive that's what I had. I had this awful rash. I was in tears. This was like after being sick. So I got really, really sick. I did not have COVID. And then about like a few days after, I was feeling better. And I got this rash where I was like on the floor crying because I was so itchy and burning. So I went to urgent care and I was like showing her my skin, and she's like, "Yeah, that looks like my skin kind of looks like that. Like, are you kidding me right now? Like, why would I be here?" Like, yeah, I don't know. I've just been gaslit by a lot of doctors. Thoughts on trying to convince good friends about investing? It seems hard to get people invested, but I really want them to do good with me. I don't give advice to any friends if they don't ask for it. You just let them do what they want. If they want to, like, you can show your stuff, you can talk about it, but they may not be interested. They may not care. I personally, I wouldn't talk about it. I wouldn't push it on anybody. Lyme is so frustrating. I had it too, and diagnosis is so hard. I was in Florida, and they told me the rash was a spider bite. Guess what? It wasn't. Ended up on an IV to clear it. Yeah, and the whole treatment of like getting on antibiotics so often, because I had to go on antibiotics a lot in 2021. It was like all the time. it sucks too because you already have these stomach issues and then you're going on antibiotics causing more stomach issues, and then I couldn't get on my medication because you can't go on, I had Humira, you can't go on that medication without having infections treated first. So yeah, it's hard. And I don't think I had like a full blown Lyme. Like I definitely had Lyme markers in my blood. That's why they started me on treatment. But it all just started to make sense because I was like having a really hard time recovering, going to the gym and just feeling sore constantly, all those sorts of things. Yeah, Dylan, I agree. You can say this is what I've personally done, but can't make them do anything. Oh, Evan, you have type 1 diabetes. Yeah, I know that's a whole another world too, like with the medication and all of that. Thank you, Aliona. Am I saying that right? Aliona? Aliana? Clyde, my source is I was a smoker when I started having symptoms. Yeah. Are you keto? Oh, he's talking to Evan. Are you keto, carnivore, vegan, or just eat what you want? I mean, I would never suggest smoking to prevent anything or make anything feel better. Like, that's not ideal. Favorite cheat? Honey is here with her ball. I want to squeak. Did you break it? There we go. Where is she? Sorry for the mess, y'all. Favorite cheat meal ever? Pasta, any sort of pasta. Like vegan Alfredo. We made that the other day. Pizza, vegan pizza, I love. And then like desserts too, donuts, any sort of sweets, cookies. What businesses should come to Georgia or what kinds? Prize Picks is headquartered out of Atlanta, one of the newer companies. I have no clue. None. Don't want any more traffic. They can all go to the Midwest or something. I'm tired of Atlanta, to be honest. It's so crowded here. Chocolate cake. All right, y'all. Oh, it's been 2 hours. This goes so fast. So, yeah, that is a crazy fact about ulcerative colitis. But don't recommend smoking. I've never been to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant. I would go to Florida if not in Atlanta. But Sebastian's not really on board. I would go to Florida, or I would I don't know. I would stay in Georgia, but maybe move somewhere. I just don't like the city we live in, that's for sure. Maybe somewhere further up north. But I do really like Georgia, don't get me wrong. But being in like metro Atlanta or near Atlanta anywhere, it's just so rough. I don't care about sports, Dylan. Also, I can't do the cold. So that's why I'm like, I'll either go somewhere else in Georgia or further south. We welcome you here in Middle Georgia. Yeah, I think I would want to go to like I'd love to live in Decatur again. That's where I used to live, or Johns Creek or something, Alpharetta. I don't know. Yeah, I can't do cold at all though. Like if there's snow regularly, not doing it. I'm in Kirkwood. Yeah, Kirkwood is nice. Beaufort is cool. My dad lives near Beaufort, so too crowded though. It's so crowded. Like if you want to get anywhere, you gotta triple the time. It's crazy, no matter the time, unless it's like a Sunday morning. That's chill, but otherwise, it's too much. But all right, y'all. I'm hungry. I do still have some work to do. I'm hoping that the internet's been good for some time, but I'm probably going to go live teaching on live 4 to 5 times in December through January. That's going to be like on debt. I am going to be pushing like, oh, sign up for my Skool community. with like some perks in there, but I'll talk about it then. I'm hoping that the internet will hold out, but that will be soon to come. I do like going live, so I'll probably pop on it before then to just, I don't know. I was like, oh, let me just go live. So thank y'all for being here. I appreciate it. Oh, there's one more question. I got married at 24 and my wife and I made 150,000. When should we buy a house? That's so vague, Cooper. There's so many different aspects. It depends. Do you have debt? Do you want to be out of debt? If you do have debt, what is your net worth? What are your future goals? Feel free to email me though, or like leave a comment and I can give you a more detailed response. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna go. I'm really hungry. Thank you for being here. Have an amazing rest of your weekend. I am gonna go and film my short, so y'all will see me shortly on a little short. I'm gonna film that right now. I think I only am transferring like, I don't know, 80 cents or something today. So I appreciate y'all being patient with the lives going in and out. So yeah, thank you. Bye, y'all. Have a great weekend.